Hey Austin, how you doing? I've got your work set up here and I want to take a look at it. But first, I want to talk about the project a little bit. And in doing so, I just, you know what? I want to, let's do this. I want to bring your attention to something. And I'm going to open up this guy right here and I just want you to take a look. I'm just going to go over into the announcements area of the class. And I don't know if you've been looking over here, but there's some good stuff over here. Specifically right here, this is the last two videos placed were the Welcome to Week 6 video and this Watch This video. And the Watch This video goes through this whole process that we're actually doing in a real professional studio and showing the results. And this was the graphics for the 2010 Vancouver Olympics. So I'd like you to take a look through that, and I'd like you to read this Welcome to Week 5 and then watch the Week 6 video. The reason I'm asking you to do so is because I'm looking at the progression of the work and I'm seeing something that I think we really should talk about, and that being the consistent flow, and your methodology is guiding your decision making based on your research. I see this week, okay, and that's why I have last week's presentation open, because we look at last week and this is how, like, let's play this game where I'm the art director, okay, and you're the designer. So you come into my office and you say, this is what I've been working on for the Olympics, and I look at it and I make my comments. Remember the comments I made on this, that these two looked quite similar. So, and then I commented on the pictograms and the fact that that looked like it was already, you remember the comments. So then this week you come back and I say, okay, work on this, blah, 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 right? And then this week you come back and you say, okay, I've been working and this is what I've come up with. And I go like this, I go, well, Austin, wait a second. This is, you've gone from here to here without really any descriptions, okay? So what happened to all the research that we've been doing from week 1 to week 6? It seems like that's all been discarded in lieu of a new visual approach. And that's what the way we've been learning graphic design up until now. And I remember the first day of class, the first week of class, when I mentioned in this class, we're going to look at graphic design a little bit differently. Okay, up until now, we're charged with this problem. You need to come up with a visual solution, typically a logo. And then you're going to show that logo placed on different items. And that would be the culmination of the project. This is a little different in that this is a concept-driven class. Okay, so we need reasons. I mean, in order for this project to be looked at within the objectives of the class, I would have to say everything has to be explained. Everything has to make sense. Everything has to tie into your original concept, which is based on your research. Okay, so so last week I was fine with the fact that it was the Chinese New Year, and I think it was all the explanations that you had used. And then even in previous weeks, you had a lot more research than this. And then all of a sudden this week, we have no research, just this visual presentation. So that's why I'm a little concerned about this transition to the visual portion of the project, because we absolutely cannot forget about the conceptual and methodological ramifications of the project, and that those are just as important to this project as the final outcome and will be graded as such. Hope that makes sense. It's really, really important. Okay, where are we now and where do we need to go? Here's the thing. What I need to do is I need to see your reasoning here. What you had all that research behind, and then you don't have any research behind this. And if there is, I'd like to see it. And just see where I'm coming from. Just see what I'm saying as I'm seeing this thing go from this to this. Basically, overnight, but basically, in between meetings. So. And then, okay, so the logo itself, I've got no problem with the logo. I think it's fine. I don't think there's any contrast in it. That's why you can't see it when it's placed on these things. It kind of recedes into the background. And that's because it's lacking in contrast. Contrast is one of the principles in the CRAP theory. contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity. And you should remember all of those, and that should be your mantra in your mind when you're designing. So this one is missing contrast. You're getting some contrast in the red doors and the red top, but other than that, and as you can see, that's all we can see in the shirts is the contrast area. So you want to think about that. You almost look like you're forcing the 2022 where it's at and the Olympic rings. My suggestion would just leave Beijing there, but move the 2022 down below the rings. And I think that would open this up and allow it to breathe without being so confined and grounded to this Olympic rings and to that 2022. So kind of, and Beijing is kind of standing off with its own meaning, as it were, and then being associated with the Olympics down here at the bottom. Mascot's great. I don't see it being used anywhere. Okay, so let me talk about the placement. Now, at this point, it looks like you're shifting back to what we're used to doing as designers, and that's taking our project, taking our logo, and applying it to, objects. And I think that's a mistake, and that's why I wanted you to look at those videos that I put up there at the top of the video. Those videos I want you to look at, because it describes and explains in there that this might not be your best solution, just placing things on items. You want to tell a story. There's many examples of what we used. I suggest in a Welcome to Week 6 announcement, there's a bunch of examples of how, what you could actually use environmental graphics. And I have some explanations of how to do that and such. And of course, please, by all means, take a look at what your classmates are doing in terms of what they're turning in. Okay, so again, my main concern is that this is turning into a regular design project where we design a logo and place it on things and turn it in. So we really need the story behind every one of these decisions. Okay? All right, if you have any questions, please just contact me. Okay, thanks, Austin.